I wanted to talk about like how on my page I express my emotions in a vast array of ways. And I think that sometimes that can be misconstrued when a person is online and they're okay with sharing the more darker, grim parts of life, and they're not shying away from their sadness or anger. Um, when you don't see people do that all the time, I feel like it can make you just naturally assume that they have a more sad demeanor or something of that nature. But yeah, a sad girl trope will not be put on me. It will not be placed on me. Me expressing all of the array of my emotions is something very artistic to it. I'm removing a stigma that comes with sharing things like sadness or anger or a person seeing you cry, things like this. Because we all feel these things, but most of the time you just feel them in private and nobody sees it. There was a point in time for me where a person seeing me cry or something, oh my God, like, yikes. I would literally never. But it's just not that serious. You know, it's not that serious. It's just an emotion like you experienced all the other ones. And I think that when you remove the shock value from seeing a person express darker emotions, you know, really remove the shame from it, we can start really getting somewhere as a people for real. Because, you know, trying to stigmatize certain emotions over other ones would just keep people in a cycle of secrecy and unauthenticity. And isolation, you know, when you feel like you can express every part of you, it feels very isolating. So I would say that sometimes when people leave certain comments under my videos, it kind of bothers me when they're trying to do like the whole pat on the shoulder, like, oh, you're gonna be okay. Like, nothing about my aura even gives that I think otherwise. So I kind of be feeling like that's disrespectful. I be feeling like you're trying to undermine my power when you do certain things like that. In my mind, this is how I view that. Because it's like, it doesn't really give sad girl. It don't give that. It just gives person being honest and open and vulnerable. So yeah, it's like, don't play too crazy. Like, don't. But from other people's perspective, I could see how, I guess you could think that, I guess, but I don't know. Sometimes I just think you gotta read between the lines of the whole picture and not just because you see somebody mad or sad to just already place a narrative on them. So yeah, me making these type of videos where I'm okay with showing myself on a very full spectrum. I am creating space for other people to not feel so shamed about the emotions they feel, and not feel like you can't show any weakness or just be a full-bodied person. And I feel that when you have a good sense of self-awareness, okay, let me say it like this, right? For me, my emotions were never acknowledged, you know. So if I was angry or sad, it's pretty much like, okay, here you go again. Tell you, this is just like, I just write it off. So growing up, I was very disconnected from my emotions, and they felt so much bigger than me. But when you develop your self-awareness, and then you start to undo the way that you were processing your emotions previously, that also includes allowing yourself to express however you need to in that moment without feeling any guilt about it. Because in the world, it's like when you show emotions, people will try to guilt you about the emotions you show. You could, even when you, obviously, of course, when you're dead ass right, you be dead right, and people will still try to guilt you into feeling like you should be wrong. And when you're learning how to navigate your emotions, you know, you can't allow yourself to be gaslit into how you should feel about things. It's kind of almost crazy to me how much people try to sway your thoughts in life. So yeah, it don't even matter what you do. People will still try to play victim. Somebody could stab you in your chest, and you can get mad about it, and they gon' be like, "Why are you mad at me? It was an accident. How don't you know that was an accident?" What do you mean? You stabbed me in my chest. But I didn't mean to. You should know that. And so it's like, yeah, being a villain, you gotta be okay with being a villain for real, because it's a lot of stories I'm gonna be the villain in because I simply just have boundaries, and you're not gonna play my boundaries. I stand very firm on them. And anybody who stands firm on their boundaries is gonna look like the villain. That's how it be. That's what comes with it. Yeah. Also, let me say this, because I don't think I mentioned that, but people like to bond with you through whatever they feel like they can reach you at. So, you know, if I'm expressing pain or something in that moment, people want to bond over that. But it's like, you know, there's so many different spaces you could try to meet me at. Why that one? Or something that's not really as authentic, like aesthetics. Because honestly, I say a lot of great things. Okay, my mind is very beautiful. So when men try to bond with me just over the way I look or something, I think that's crazy. That's really crazy to me, because that's treating me like I'm everybody else. There's a lot of women that are very beautiful, but they have nothing going on inside. You know, you gotta play with somebody else. And that right there is also an initial problem, because any man who act like he don't see what he's seeing and tries to just, any man who tries to just treat me like a pretty girl, like I'm not an ancient being, that's a red flag already, because either you don't have the sight to see, or you're intentionally trying to attempt to bury me. Either way that goes, neither one of those things work for me. And don't get me wrong, right? I understand that whenever I decide to express sadness or anger or just maybe moments of unsurety or doubt, things of this nature, is going to attract a certain type of wavelength and a certain type of audience and certain reactions. And I have to understand that comes with the territory of me trying to break certain narratives and stereotypes and things of that nature. But just don't get lost in the sauce, though. You feel me? Just don't get lost in the sauce and act like you don't see the full picture. That's all I ask. So yeah, that's all I want to say.